Hey, welcome back. We are now at part 2 of this week's new comics, bitches! So, we're gonna get right back to it. After a sip of delicious Arizona water. Anyway, Avengers 1959, number 5. So this is the finale. I recognize a few of the bad guys' names here, but they all have that kind of cheeseball, golden / silver age era of just those bad pun names, and it's great. It's from one team of bad guys to the next. I mean, these Avengers definitely kick a good amount of ass. However, a lot of them end up as being criminals and being villains, being almost arch villains to certainly Sabretooth is the arch villain to Wolverine, and then of course you have Kraven, who's definitely a big enemy of Spidey's. But again, the action leads off very nicely, and then the book kind of segues into this kind of espionage and this kind of political hell, if you will. But it gives you some idea of some upcoming protectors. Maybe is this the beginning of S.H.I.E.L.D.? We don't know. But also, we have some upcoming threats that maybe exist, because of course Sydenham, he's a disciple of Dormammu, whoever he might be later. That's one of those things I need to look at. I have my Marvel Universe books. I need to look up this character and see if he ever appears again, or just, I don't know, Wikipedia or something. I don't know. But it was an interesting and mostly entertaining, because there were a few missed beats there, but and still a little bit subversive, as Chaykin is to want. He likes to do that. It's just a good ride. This whole miniseries has been. So 4 out of 5 for Avengers 1959 finale number 5. So. So, God damn it. I was smoking regular cigarettes for a while, and at least they didn't burn out all the time. Anyway, so, New Avengers number 20. This was a big rock'em sock'em action, flows through the whole issue, and it's just, it's done, Bendis and Deodato Jr. do it with such ease and such impact. There's some, Avengers whoop his ass. Is that the new catchphrase? That's great stuff. Luke Cage just going totally apeshit, going after Osborn, then discovering that Osborn, well, he seems to have powered up a bit. But this is one of those battle royale issues that people live for. And by and large, this is a fantastic issue. There's going to be some serious discussion with Victoria Hand once they get back to where they need to be. And I so want Cage to pound Osborn into just a little pile of goo. He's just, because Osborn, he's such a scumbag, and he's a great villain. Don't get me wrong. I want him to literally pound on him until he dies, but Osborn doesn't die. Or if he does, he just keeps coming back. It's an awesome brawl issue. It's not quite one for the ages, but it's damn close, and that could be yet to come. Not just but here in this, in New Avengers, as opposed to Avengers and the big kind of battle that's going on there, that's a little bit more suspenseful. This is much more of kind of like, we're throwing down, motherfucker. It's on. And, Iron Fisting a Hulk. That was probably my favorite moment of comics so far this year, or certainly one of them, because it was just awesome. I know that sounds bad, Iron Fisting a Hulk. That sounds kind of, sounds kind of dirty, but wow, that's good stuff, man. That was a lot of fun. This whole issue was just great fun. 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, it didn't reach the plateau that I wanted it to, but you know, it's been just basically just setting up for, I think, what will be an even larger scale. And of course, you know, Daredevil coming in, really starting to, you know, do his job on the Avengers, on the new Avengers, I should say. And, you know, Deodato's art, wow, man, he's just... And I'm really interested to find out what's going on between Jessica and Squirrel Girl at the beginning there. That was a really kind of almost secretive, like, moment where I was thinking to myself, I don't know, what's going on here? But I'm very interested to learn more about it, and I'm sure that I will. This next one was another big shock for me. This whole series essentially has become a big shock for me, and that is Battle Scars #3. This book is just crushing expectations to rubble. I expected this to be one of those books, kind of like The Fearless, which is just like, okay, well, it's kind of interesting, and now I'm done. But because it's actually become boring. But this book is just really, really, really good. Way better than anyone, I think, thought it was going to be. There's some great character beats here. There's, you know, it's like this awesome kind of black ops versus superpowers, you know, kind of unrelenting combat that you have between Marcus Johnson and especially Deadpool, who, well, not especially, but I always like when Deadpool really gets his ass handed to him, because I don't like Deadpool. Deadpool, to me, he's just a really annoying character. And I know that people like to have fun with him because he's crazy, but, you know, to me, that's just, I feel like I'm on cocaine. I'm not. I really am not. But I'm just, like I said, it's like a lot to get through. It normally takes me, you know, 15 minutes to do like 2 issues. So, yes, this isn't necessarily the new me. I'm just saying that this is, right now, this is the way I got to do things. I'm feeling a little speedy, though, and believe me, I'm not on drugs. So like I hate Deadpool, so it was nice to see his ass get handed to him, not only by Marcus, but then when Taskmaster jumps back in, and we have a really awesome fight and confrontation there, because even though he does kind of get beaten, he still comes off as just being totally cool. And I love the Taskmaster series that Fred Van Lente did, the 5-issue limited series that he did a while back. That was a really good series, and I think very overlooked, even by me, because I went back and kind of reread it, and I'm like, that's some really good stuff. But, you know, Taskmaster's just a cool villain all around. And, you know, just a great comic, just really well written, very well paced. The art's really good. You know, Chris Yost, again, with this, you know, writing the script. I know it's Cullen Bunn and Matt Fraction and Chris Yost who are plotting this, but he's the one that really is taking the reins here, and it's working beautifully. This is great comics. This is 4.5 out of 5. Again, it's, you know, it's not, again, wasn't quite there, but it was damn close. So, let me just see here if I've got some other, okay. I'm going to talk about, right now, the disappointing entries into this week. Very disappointing, I might add. Captain America #7. I'm starting to get a bad feeling again here. I started to get a bad feeling with issue 2 of Cap, because it felt like, okay, this is kind of going in that kind of Morrison-esque direction, you know, with all of the kind of, you know, like the dream world and everything like that, and everything's kind of topsy-turvy and everything so on. And, you know, I love Brubaker. He's a god to me. So to see it go towards this direction, I mean, and I appreciate, you know, maybe the fact that Alan Davis doing the art on this maybe has something to do with that, because Alan Davis does like to do some really high concept art. He likes to do some kind of wild stuff, obviously with Excalibur, obviously with Captain Britain in the early days when he was doing it with both Alan Moore and Jamie Delano. But this is just too much. You know, kind of going back in time, you know, to the 70s and getting out the Mad Bomb and everything like that. Mad Bomb, you know, it's a good MacGuffin, but it's not good enough to keep it going. And this whole kind of thing coming back to, you know, the depowering and everything like that, it's just, it doesn't quite work for me. It just, I shouldn't say it doesn't quite, it doesn't work for me. And I'm sad about that. I feel bad. And why is the Falcon not an Avenger? that is one thing that does really puzzle the shit out of me, because it's like, okay, he's always there when Cap needs him. He's a great fighter. He's someone who tactically knows how to take the battle to the bad guys, but I don't know if if he's just doing like the solo kind of local thing that Spidey and Daredevil used to do. But now that they're Avengers, they're, and especially Spidey with being an Avenger and a member of the FF, who knows? Mad Bomb's empowering. Like I said, there's some nice character touches here, but it doesn't hit the good action beats that we want. It doesn't hit the really good character beats that I expect from Captain America being written by Ed Brubaker. And Alan Davis's art, as lovely as it is, just doesn't. It can't save this particular issue of comics. So this was a 2 out of 5. Again, I don't like giving any Brubaker comic a bad review, but this is one of them. It just didn't work. It was very below average for me. Brilliant #2 also came out this week, and this was another. This is one that's being dropped. As interesting as an idea for this book is, kind of examining the tropes of, people getting superhuman powers and, how they get them and things like that. This whole comic just feels like it's like the young people who are in the comic. This whole comic feels like it's coulda, not shoulda. Like the scientists that they are, these young people, they're doing things that they can do but shouldn't do. And that's what this whole comic feels like to me. It's like Bendis and Bagley got together and said, we've been working together for a lot of years now. Let's do something that's a little bit more adult, a little bit more, not contemporary, but just a little more kind of in tune, in touch with the other Icon, stuff that Marvel's putting out. Just something that we can really put our own signature on and have it be adult and fresh, but it's not fresh. It's kind of stale, to be quite honest. And science in a lot of ways is a lot about whether you can do something doesn't necessarily mean that you should. And I know that I keep coming back to that, but this is really one of those comics where I just really, really get that sense. And Bagley's art is woefully out of place here. He is somebody who does superheroes very well. I mean, all of his faces with the very straight noses and the very kind of, almost triangular jaws. Everything is kind of very angular on the bodies and on the muscle. It's almost kind of like Rob Liefeld light or Eric Larson light. It's not quite as annoying as either of those guys' art, but it does tend to get there every once in a while. And this, he doesn't do real people very well. He can do superheroes until the cows come home, as far as I'm concerned, because he's really good at that. When I first encountered his stuff back when he was doing Thunderbolts, I really enjoyed his art. But here it's just doesn't work. Doesn't happen for me at all. And again, I feel bad. I feel bad whenever I give someone like Bendis or Brubaker, who are, pretty consummate artists, when I give them bad reviews. And I'm not saying that Mark Bagley is a bad artist. It's just that this kind of work is not suited to what he does well. So I hope that's clear. So again, about a 2 out of 5 for Brilliant #2. So we're going to take another little break. We're going to come back and we're going to shoot through some other comics. So stay tuned. We'll be back.